not surprising that we're going first, since we are probably the organization that is in this type of transformation. Our agile adoption has been going on for quite a long time, but as many large encumbered organizations, it is a long journey for us, and we're also learning a lot along the way. So thank you, Steve. To give you a little bit about my background, I am new to American Express relatively. I've only been with American Express for 3 years. In my previous career, or my previous positions, my philosophy has always been that a conscious effort to foster and manage collaboration and innovation tools is really a necessity for creating an environment where not only can ideas be explored, tried, and tested, but also that our solutions can be thoroughly vetted. Innovation and collaboration has always been at the forefront of my responsibilities. I come from a product background where I was tasked with solving customer problems, and also with the more technical aspects of how we implement the solution. Quite different than my role at American Express, but it still remains the very heart of what I do and how I approach things. My very first exploration into innovation and collaboration tooling was to rescue a failing product, a product that had been successful in 97 out of 98 markets, and what could have possibly gone wrong in one single market. But we took the tact that it wasn't the customer's fault that it was failing in this market, but that we had to challenge all of our assumptions and start fresh with asking what our customers really needed, and rebuild from that perspective. So it was enlightening and life-changing for me, and also for the company that I used to work for. And it definitely created a need for cultural change. So at American Express, we are challenged in a number of areas during this time. We're a company that has really embraced a customer-first culture. We have traditionally relied on in-person communication, heavily relied on co-location, and being and hallway conversations and all of those kind of interactions. We're also, being a financial firm, we're in an industry that is challenged by many small, nimble startups. And we're also challenged by our own structure, our own hierarchy, and the platforms that support our products. So from a tooling perspective, traditionally, it has been training, hackathons, sandboxes, communities of practice. We've recently incorporated exploration tools like design sprints and prototyping, and setting up internal incubators. All of these things to, of course, create a culture that embraces and nurtures ideas, and wonderful things that improve also our employee engagement and hopefully our bottom line. Also, perhaps more fundamental than some other firms. When we fast forward into this time that we find ourselves in now, we are really challenged more with our adjustments and how do we embrace where we are and continue forward with what strides we've made. So how do we do these things where co-location and face-to-face interaction are important, but are not always possible? So for us, it took quite a bit of time. While we could very quickly shift our workforce to being remote, within weeks we had 80,000 people able to carry on with their day-to-day. The rest has taken us quite a bit of time. Training took time, recreating exercises, finding the right tools to simulate classroom environments was a lot more effort than we had initially thought. Our hackathons have been slow to be reintroduced. We started with small localized coding challenges, and now we've just recently done a full enterprise event just this month. We'll need a little bit more time to really understand the impact. Our communities of practice have been slow to come back. Meetups and get-togethers were easy to organize on campuses. Now, when we're in this new work world where formal meetings have replaced all sorts of informal interactions, We don't always have the time to explore these communities. So now that we know we'll be working remotely through the middle of next year, we need to sort out our design sprints and prototyping. So those are on our backlogs now. We're building sets of tools and processes to better support these and in this new environment. Everything from how do we actually conduct design sprints to how do we incorporate high fidelity prototyping and build resiliency into those processes when the level of effort has been increased, and along with that, the fear of failure. So I'll close on how we measure our work. We look at this from 3 different perspectives. Of course, we look at our customer, but we do also spend quite a bit of time on our system itself and on our culture. Primary metric, unsurprisingly, is the customer response, whether it's acquisition, referral, direct feedback on their experience. Those things are all very much the start of where we look to determine our success. We also track our delivery performance. How do our systems that support these customer experiences work? Do they work as expected? Are they high quality? Are they stable? And then the most interesting introduction we've had this year has been the experience of our engineers. We have some 6,000 engineers in our company, and do their tools actually support them? Are we giving them the space that they need to be innovative, as well as creating that space and culture where learning and growth is the environment that they live in? So as I stated early on, we're very much focused on these fundamentals, building these into our operating model, solidifying the foundation that will allow us to explore new models as we continue this transformation journey. So thank you for your polite attention, and I welcome the rest of the conversation.